Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing? Welcome to this presentation. Those of you that are new here, my name is Jamie Gardner. Thank you very much for joining me. If you happen to be new to my channel, I cover a whole bunch of stuff. It's really me just documenting the last 10 years of being online, or 12 years now. My goodness, that's gone quick. So if that's of interest, feel free to hit the subscribe button. For everyone else that is tuning in via my Facebook group, welcome. If you guys happen to see this, if you could just smash the heart button, drop a hashtag live just to let me know that you are on the live. That would be amazing. Just help the message get out to a few more folks. And of course, also streaming into my private coaching community, the Ultimate Marketing Mastermind. You guys happen to be there as well. Drop a comment, smash the heart button, and I will get kicked off in a minute. Actually, I hope I don't get kicked off. I will start the presentation in a moment. There we go. That's what I meant to say. Meanwhile, I will just run some background music. That's me doing elevator background music. What do you guys reckon about this new thing that StreamYard has? Cool way. Found an Ultimate Marketing Mastermind. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, very nice. Classic. Let's keep it classic. Thank you for the love heart. I massively appreciate that. It's lovely. What else have we got over here? Oh, this is pretty cool. Where's everyone tuning in from? All right. Here's another one of my favorites. Boom chakalaka. Right, enough of that silliness. Alan, how you doing? Thanks very much for tuning in. Joel, appreciate it. Nova Scotia. Canada was on my list of places to go in 2020, but you know, some stuff happened that kind of prevented that, and then I ended up buying some land instead. Dave, what's going on? Facebook user New York City. Nice work. Appreciate it. All right, awesome stuff, folks. So a couple of things I'm going to rattle off today. So if you're a coach, high ticket affiliate, low ticket affiliate, looking to push volume, things like that, come to the right place. Basically, there's a couple of things that I'm going to cover that will help solve the mystery of why you're not converting as many leads as you like. This is something that I was discussing on the back of a coaching call that I just jumped off earlier, and thought you guys would get a bit of value out of it along the way. So again, like I say, massively appreciate any engagement. If you guys just demolish the heart button, drop any comments, any questions, of course, that would be awesome. Happy to answer anything that you guys have as well. And we will just go through it. So I'm going to share my screen and kind of just rattle on about a few things that are going to kind of help you out there. Right. I better share my screen before I just start talking about it, right? Cool. Okay. So hopefully you see before you an amazing piece of art, which I'm going to turn into an NFT and sell for probably $1 billion or something like that. But it resembles, hopefully for you guys, it resembles something that is akin to a seesaw. Now, I say this, and I put this here because it's something that has been quite prevalent in my business and something that I've seen play out in many other people, having coached over 700 students now, is you can become significantly better at certain tasks within your business at some point, right? Meaning that you're going to get better at producing your offers, you're going to get way better at producing your content, you're going to become way better at your copywriting as a result of the content that you're producing, all that type of stuff. And as a result of that, and then eventually it turns into emails and posts and getting the metaphorical hand raises from your audience, all that type of stuff. But in the beginning, you don't have the luxury of skill and experience because you're still trying to learn. And so one of the ways that we can tip the balance in our favor is a couple of them actually, but one of which is by leveraging our ability to craft an offer, right? So if we put a big O over here, and imagine this is going to be a terrible drawing, but you get the idea. It's like a thought bubble, but it's actually meant to be a chain. So that's our offer. And so we can all, affiliates, coaches, course creators, consultants, everyone has the capacity to go out there and create a really badass offer. And I've done some free training on this stuff before, so feel free to check out the channel if you're on YouTube, or of course, check out the guide section if you're in my groups as well. And of course, for the Ultimate Marketing Mastermind people, feel free to check out the actual training itself. There's some pretty cool stuff in there regarding offer creation, how you can put up a pretty awesome offer. So there's a few components that go into it. I'm not going to go into detail at the moment, but quite simply need to reveal what is in the underlying thing that you're promoting. So if you're an affiliate, it's not the actual program itself, it's how you're gift wrapping it to the marketplace. You need to add some form of support for a high ticket in particular. And I say that because we have this other metric that I like to keep track of, which is lifetime customer value. And so if you're able to establish a relationship with a customer, that customer is around about 70% more likely to buy from you or based off your recommendation in future. Okay, so it's really, really high, meaning that even if you have a very, very small audience and you have a small group of people that have had a positive buying experience with you, then, and you're looking after them, perhaps you have like a Slack channel, you add some Voxer, maybe a couple of one-on-ones if you've got a high ticket offer there, then over time, you're going to be able to help those folks with new problems that arise for them in their business, right? Because there's always going to be a new thing that arises. So when it does, and you're at the forefront of their mind because you've been helping them out all this way, then it is more likely that they will make a purchasing decision, right? Meaning that you don't need a huge audience to make this stuff work and make hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. You just need a very good relationship with your existing audience, right? So we can all create an offer. The last part of that, actually it's two last parts, but last part 1.0 is you also want to add some form of incentives. Now, these can be things like time-based incentives. They can be scarcity-based incentives. For example, you might say, hey, for the month of February, the price of my Ultimate Marketing Mastermind is actually going up in value. If you'd like to learn whether this is going to be appropriate for your current situation, feel free to check out ultimatemarketingmastermind.com. Otherwise, the link in the description is actually a free case study. And if you do want to see if this is really the right fit for you, and if it is something that you can do to scale your business to 10 to 30K months, then I recommend hopping on a quick call with myself. You and I can chat about whether it is going to be the right thing for you. And in doing so, can see if that's going to be the right fit. ultimatemarketingmastermind.com. So there you go. You go make an offer. So bonuses, the reason I was mentioning that is because price is going up, right? So it can be I guess a scarcity-based thing or an urgency-based thing. Top price is going up at the end of February, which is both urgency and scarcity in one. But you can also do things like thinking about bonuses that you can offer. You can offer things like cheat sheets or done-for-you resources or things that basically make someone else's life easier if they're going to deploy this particular information, right? Hopefully this is making sense there. And so I say that because we can all create a really badass offer. Now, the 1.5 last part is you can minimize risk, right? So I'm just going to write these there to see what's got them in front of you. So unpack, support, incentives, bonuses, whatever you want to call them, and risk, right? So the last part I say is optional, and that's why I kind of did the 1.0, 1.5 thing. So the de-risk is optional. Now, as an affiliate, of course, you don't control the cart page. You can't control what a product vendor decides to do. And so therefore, you need to get a little bit more creative with how you're able to minimize the risk for the actual purchaser themselves. So one way would be to offer to work with someone until they hit a certain milestone. Could be for the first 120 days that you jump into this thing with me, I'm going to support you along the way. We can have powwow sessions, weekly catch-ups, whatever you need in order to absolutely obliterate your goals. If at the end of that 120-day period, you haven't been smashing it and you're not at least recouping your investment by that stage, I will continue working with you for free until such time as you at least double your investment. Bang, all of a sudden risk has gone from consumer over to vendor, right? Super powerful. Now, I wanted to start with this because most people aren't putting a lot of emphasis on this stuff. And I think if you do, and you go check out resources like Alex Hormozi's $100 million offers, and hit me up if you need anything from myself. Obviously, I've got a bunch of resources there. I've got templates and files and check sheets and all that type of stuff as well. So I say this because the other thing that you want to combine this with is it's a big chunky letter over here. It's the V word, volume, right? So when coaches and affiliates, when they get started, a lot of the time there's this doctrine of like, oh no, I don't need to like add a whole bunch of people if you're doing Facebook organic. I just select 3 to 5 people and then I magically make sales. And that might work for some folks, right? And it's quite a nuanced subject. So I'm not going to go right into the nth degree right now. But what I will say is if you have 10 leads and let's be like really like, I don't know, let's be super generous and say that you have a close rate of 10%. Now, for my Ultimate Marketing Mastermind, I have been able to close as high as 16%. 1 in 6 people have purchased stuff that enter my audience. It's pretty damn good, right? But I've obviously been doing it for a while. I have a very, very highly oiled machine when it comes to this process. Not everyone's going to be able to achieve that immediately, at least anyway, right? So therefore, if you've got 10 people and your close rate is 10%, means that effectively you're ideally aiming to close 1 out of those 10 people, right? And so that's why when you look at that, though, if that one person decides, you know what, I have decided to go with something else. I've decided that the timing isn't right. I thought I had more cash. I don't. My car just got run into by a donkey, and now I need to replace all the side panels, and I need to replace my donkey for some reason. I don't know where that even came from. And so therefore, all these things are going to pop up in someone's life, and that mean that maybe the timing's not right. So therefore, if that does happen, then that 10% all of a sudden just goes to 0 because you've got nothing left, right? If you're only relying on that. The other part of the problem when you're relying on going after only a small select handful of people, of leads, is that on the other side of that, you need to be really good at your offer. Your offer needs to be beautifully written. It needs to be this thing that people can see themselves getting results in straight away. It needs to be really good. You need to create a ton of authority within yourself. And when you're starting off, you don't have a bunch, right? You have to use mechanisms such as increased engagement and growth of audience and low ticket sales and inbound leads and all these things that I've discussed here before in order to elevate your authority, right? So you need a ton of authority. You also need to be pretty damn good at copy, right? Because no one's going to bother paying attention to you if you're not that great. And the reality is, unless you come from a writing background, you probably haven't had enough reps, enough experience in the game in order to instantly be good at that particular thing, right? So I'm always like, just push the volume. It's not comfortable. You can throttle off at some point, but at least when you're doing so, you're going to give yourself options, okay? Massively, massively important. So if you're wanting to make more sales, I'm going to give you 3, actually that's 4, I lied, 4 sentences that are going to help you out massively when it comes to this, right? And here they are. Ask yourself, brutally ask yourself, how many, if you're not making sales right now, how many leads, new leads have you brought in? And if you can't quantify it, then you better start quantifying it, right? You need to be able to quantify this stuff, because if you don't know what your metrics are, at least to just a surface level degree, then you're not really operating a business, right? You need to have an idea of it. If you know, okay, I brought 3 people in this week, well, so then your expectation is what, like a 33 to 66% conversion rate? Like it's pretty obscene, right? Like it'd be cool. Like if I had that, my God, I'd be a trillionaire by now, right? Have you elevated your brand authority and given people a reason to want to hang around with you and pay attention to your stuff, right? If you guys have been hanging around with me for 5 seconds or more, like I'm always waving this guy around because it adds a little bit of clout, and I always talk about the successes that my students have had, like one of which went from like 0 to first high ticket sale, $3,900 deal with about 30 or 40 people in his audience. Another one went from nothing to 40 to 10K in 49 days. Like I often mention this stuff, let alone my big months that I've had, my 50K months and different things like that, right? And the reason for that is because you need to keep establishing credibility. You need to keep establishing yourself as an authority and keep implying that to your audience in order for them to pay attention to you, okay? And so that's the second part of it. The third part is, how many offers have you made, right? Be brutally honest with yourself. I guarantee the folks that are tuning in at this point, you got no leads, and if you got leads, they're probably crap house because you're trying to solve a different issue altogether, and you probably haven't made offers to them. And in the middle, if you haven't given them a reason to actually bother to pay attention to you, then the rest of it's going to fall down anyway, right? Completely pointless. So you got to have that thing, that reason why people would actually bother to listen to you in the first place. But quite simply, this here is like, I'm going to highlight this. Oh, that's cool. Wow, that's nice. Look at that. How many offers have you made? If you have 100 new people entering your audience, and if you've been following the Ultimate Marketing Mastermind process, the dual imprint nurturing, community conversion type stuff, it's not just about getting folks into your group, but like you get people in there. If you have 100 people in your group and you've been using the DIMP process to elevate your authority rapidly, to indoctrinate those folks into you, and you've got 100 folks, but then you've got no offers made, how do you make sales? You cannot, is the answer, right? You're playing the hope marketing game, which is a recipe for the scrap heap, I can assure you, right? So quite simply, ask yourself, how many offers have I made? How many people have seen the offer document that I've got? How many people have jumped on a call with me and you've pitched them something? You've said, hey, listen, I think we work well together. This is what I've got. It's amazing. I've got all these results. Do you want to be the next person I send one of these amazing 10K, 20K, 50K, $100,000 plaques out to? No. Yes. All right. Two options. And that's the thing. And I can categorically say most people are probably not putting out enough offers. So do that. And a little quote for you guys. I don't know if I actually coined this, but I'm going to pretend like I did. Money is in the metrics. It really is. Because if you dissect this stuff and you realize, hang on a minute, damn it, Jamie is right. I've got no new leads. And I haven't done anything to raise my brand authority, so no one's actually bothering to pay attention to me. And I made no offers. Oh, who'd have thunk it? I'm not making any cash flow. That's silly me. That's silly. You're welcome. Glad it helped. Does that help anyone? Yeah, you don't need to be viral, man. Absolutely do not need to be viral. I would actually argue that going viral could end up being a bit of a curse as well, because you have the propensity when you do go viral to attract what we call mass market, right? Like masses of traffic, which is fine, but you're going to get subsets of your audience that have zero interest in what you have. So I would prefer personally to have a deeper audience, a deeper relationship with my audience and a smaller audience and be able to monetize way bigger, way better. Mommy entrepreneur. I think I recognize that little photo. Even honestly, I'm just going to highlight. I hope you don't mind me highlighting the question there, or sorry, the comment I should say. But even if it's just on a scrap of paper, like in a perfect world, you'd have CRMs and all that type of stuff. But the truth is that you, like every time you add an extra layer of things that you need to remember on, it's going to be harder for you to add those on. If you like, there's more things that you need to think of on a daily basis. You start getting decision fatigue after a while. So I would almost like go quite simplistic on that to start with, and eventually get a CRM because it's going to save you a ton of time and headaches and all that type of stuff as well. Plus, it's really cool to be able to see. I've got these notes here from that person I spoke to ages ago, and so you can kind of like recount that really easily when you're bringing up conversations. Awesome stuff. Cool. Real short one for you guys today. Hopefully this helps you out. Drop a comment below. Let me know if you have any questions at all. I'll come back and answer those for you. And like I say, anyone that does tune into this, if you just hit the hashtag replay, that would be absolutely amazing. Smash the heart button. And of course, like I say, if you are interested in learning how I might be able to help you scale your business 10 to 30K months as a coach or high ticket affiliate, head over to ultimatemarketingmastermind.com. There's a free case study there, or just give the link in the comments wherever they are. Bit of a tickle. Free case study, option to book a call in with myself, and we can chat to see whether or not this is going to be the right pathway for you. All that being said, you guys are amazing. Thank you very much for tuning in. Really appreciate it as always. And let me know if there's anything else you'd like to learn. I've got a lot of knowledge in here. Lots of knowledge in the noggin. So happy to help you guys out. All right, have a good one. Thanks for joining me.